Hey everyone, welcome to another very leaky news breakdown here on Go Mango. Alright, as always, I'm your host Frozen Stratos, and today someone's getting fired because we have some very substantial leaks. I really hope someone doesn't get fired over this. We have 4 pages of the style guide for ZENKAIGER, and we haven't had a style guide leak in years, so this is wild. Insane. But yeah, this is the style guide, and basically we have a breakdown of every single character, everything the weapons do, and all of like the mecha transformations, combinations, and stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, this comes from Linked Toku, at Linked Toku, or Toku Linked on Twitter, and the full images will be linked in the description down below, so go ahead and check those out if you want to dissect them yourself. But like I said, they come with translations, so let's get into those. This is page number 1. Man, this is not okay. Alright, first up, we have ZenKaiser, who is named Goshikida Kaito. He's a young man who wants to be number 1 in any field. It doesn't matter what. He's a man who goes from 0 to 1, not that 0-1. He's a man that goes from 0 to 1. Usually just a happy goof. If his switch is activated, he becomes a hot-headed fool. He considered everyone his friend and often invades personal space. In any case, he rushes at everything with full power, full throttle. So, Zenkai. Get it. But yeah, this is another hothead character, dude. That's just standard run-of-the-mill Sentai stuff now, I guess. Either way, it's very interesting that he does the whole switch thing, the personality switch. It kind of reminds me of Kamen Rider Drive when, you know, he gets in Top Gear. Either way, I'm excited to see how this turns out, because we do have some other information about his family later, and lore, so that's not really typical for this stuff, so let's keep going. Next up, we have Zenkai Juran, or just Juran. Actually the oldest member of the team. He thinks of himself as a cool and reserved old man, but he's actually an annoying, stubborn Kikainoid. Even though he's a mechanical life form, he's bad at technology and is a muscle-brain power. How did that image get there? He's a fierce friend and values his friendships, and hits it off immediately with Kaito. He loves parties and being the center of attention. Man, what a friend! What a friend this guy is! I love him! Also, we get to see that there are, quote, civilian forms for these guys, or at least, like, you know, standard versions of what these guys look like regularly, and they're going to be called Kikainoids, so we have a name for them now. And he's wearing pants, which is strange and a little off-putting, especially since this guy isn't. He's wearing, you know, just the... Oh, I forgot the name of this thing. Just a vest. He's wearing a vest and some fuzzy boots. His name is Zenkai Gaon, or just Gaon, a natural airhead Kikainoid who is peaceful and considered humanity as one among animal kind. Conversely, he doesn't get along with his own kind and is rather cold to other mechanical life forms. His specialty is cooking. He's very diligent preparing meals for Kaito. Could it be perhaps it's like feeding your pet? He's a my pace kind of character. So this reminds me a lot of Deneb, and I'm sorry, Sentai fans. I recognize that some people really don't like it when I compare these characters to Rider characters, because this is supposed to be, you know, a Sentai anniversary series, but this is clearly aimed at that audience that really liked, you know, Deno and all that stuff. So this is the information I'm drawing from and interpreting. So very Deneb-esque, except more of a pet owner and less of best friend. But we will see once this all happens. Alright, next page. We have here Zenkai Vroon, or just Vroon. You you sort of get how this works now. A serious class president type character. He loves learning but hasn't had a chance to receive formal schooling, and there's a lot he doesn't know. There's a lot he's interested in knowing, and sometimes his questions will be annoying or dark unintentionally. He loves cleanliness, and his specialty is cleaning. He has a habit of falling in love with people no matter their race. A bit of a mixed bag for this guy. He looks like Gorosaki Banana, but, well, I mean, he does clean, and he does, well, I guess more Gorosaki Banana, but then also falls in love with people, whereas Gorosaki was more of like a fatherly love, like a parent or something. This one's more like falling in love with other people, and that's kind of strange. I don't know if I like that. We'll see how that turns out. Alright, next up, you see her already. This is Zenkai Magine, or just Magine. She considers herself reserved and shy, but at times she is actually quite brazen. She loves magic, the occult, and non-specific things. She becomes intensely obsessed with those things she loves and is basically an otaku. As a mechanical life form, she sees humanity as fantasy and is incredibly interested, in contrast with Vroon. She's the type to never clean up. So this is very interesting. So they are presumably from parallel worlds, as we'll see later, and it's really cool that they're giving her this idea that the humans are fantasy, whereas we would travel to a parallel world and think, oh man, this is fantasy. If we travel to a parallel world with dragons in it and be like, oh yeah, this is fantasy. So I like that aspect. I like that angle they're taking. It's a very cool flip on the script. Next up, we have this little breakdown here. Goshikita Isumu and Goshikita Mitsuko are Kaito's parents. They're professors who discovered the existence of parallel worlds and are currently missing. Goshikita Yatsude, Kaito's mother, who runs a sweet shop / cafe called Colorful. He lives with her. That's awesome. So we got some information about the parents. Is he going to be looking for the parents? Probably. Is he sad that they're gone? Yeah, probably. So I can't wait to see what all that brings to the table. Maybe some other rangers, if the parents want to be rangers or something. Because, you know, as we'll see later, it seems like they've developed the technology. Sechan, or Sechan, it's the bird dude right here. A mechanical bird that was left to Kaito by his parents when the enemy invades. He suddenly starts talking. Oh, when the enemy invades, he suddenly starts talking. So it was probably just a toy that his parents gave him, and then bad guys start coming in, and then boom, bird come to life. All right. Next up, here it is, our very first looks at the Geartlinger. So this is pretty neat, and all the Sentai Gears as well. So there is some information behind the gears. For the Sentai Gears, these are going to be used by the heroes and are condensed versions of the Super Sentai who exist across the many parallel worlds, allowing the ZENKAIGER to transform. They can also be used to call on those Sentai's powers. We don't yet know what calling on the Sentai's powers are just yet, but I am interested to see. So yeah, that's basically the information behind the gears themselves. They are like condensed versions of those universes. It seems like each universe is housing a separate ranger team, which is very strange, but I guess technically, like say with ZenKaiger, you see it right there, the 35th gear. Not the 35th one, but the one with the 35 on it. Potentially just a lot of similar Sentai exist on the ZenKaiger's Earth, I guess, and similar events happened with everyone that lined up. And I guess for the events of Kira Major, maybe a version of Geki Ranger exists on that Earth as well. I don't know. This is very strange. They're doing the whole decade thing. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. Very confusing. We'll see once the show drops. I'm sure it'll get even more confusing. Kikaitopia. This is one of the many parallel worlds that exist. It's a world that is home to mechanical life forms known as Kikainoids. The majority of Kikainoids are beings of good, but the current rulers, the evil dynasty Toji Tendo, and rules that... Wait, this is phrased very strangely. Either way, they're ruled by the evil dynasty Toji Tendo. You know, so I guess all of that threat comes from Kikaitopia, which I guess makes sense that, you know, most of the team is comprised of Kikainoids. He rules them with fear and an iron fist. So this organization, let's see. Oh yeah, that's about it. The Tojuru gears are the gears that the villains use, using parallel world technology, misused technology from Kaito's parents. Worlds are Tojikometa, so the worlds are locked up, and gears are created. So these come from those worlds. Like, I believe they just house that world, and that entire world is housed in a Sentai Gear. It's just represented by a Sentai. Tojuru gears can be set in the minions and call forth the powers of the locked up world, summoning monsters from them. So either it'll be a villain that looks like the Sentai, or this is just an opportunity for Toei to reuse some monster suits. Either way, I'm very excited. It's gonna be really funny to see how old and busted some of those suits have become, because I'm sure they're not gonna repair them ahead of time. I wonder if the Black Cross King that showed up in the ZENKAIGER Goseiger movie is going to show up again, because they always reuse that and repaint that. They're probably going to have to repaint it back. But yeah, so that's it for this. This thing looks pretty amazing. I'm not big on the crank, because it doesn't really have a good place to hold it there, to crank it there, but, you know, I don't have it in hand. Also, at the top, I believe, is where you're putting the gears. It does look to have the gear pattern on it. And this is in the shape of a bird. So it's probably reminiscent of, you know, the bird dude that his parents gave him. Also, we have images of the, I guess, different stages of transformation. So like I said, we do have civilian forms, and they are able to transform into more mechanical fighting forms, so I really like that aspect. Let's see here. The animal and vehicle form names for the Kikainoids are Gaon Lion, Juran Tyranno, Majin Dragon, Imagine Dragons. That's great. Vroon Dump. Kikai Henkei is what it's called when the robots shift from their mecha forms, shift to their mecha forms. Zenkai Jura Gaon, Vroon Magine, Zenkai Jura Magine, and Zenkai Vroon Gaon. So basically, this is just Kamen Rider double combination. There's also some super robots that combine this way as well. If you take a look at what these guys are comprised of, in terms of like transformation, it's all on full display here. Very much looks like the left two are gonna crouch down and then boom, that's your transformation. With Pink, it's gonna be a lot more, I want to say, in depth, because it does seem like her front skirt houses like the bottom jaw of a dragon, and then her feet are just the dragon's head. So it'll be interesting to see how she, you know, folds together as a dragon. The dump truck dude, well, I'm sure you just fold his arms out backwards and his legs up. It'll be a whole thing. I don't know that it will be too difficult, because, you know, this is Sentai. This is what we do. Not really a Transformers sort of complication here. Also, with these forms, it does look like people were wondering, oh yeah, how is Pink gonna combine with Blue? They seem to have very different mass structures. Obviously, there's going to be some mass shifting involved here, but it does look like Blue is going to be giving some parts to other people on their side, just, you know, those extra tires, or his arms, basically. He goes from this form with his arms and then just gives the arms to the legs or whatever. So it might not be a full-on half and half combination. You might have to do a little bit of fiddling in between. Outside of that, we have nothing else. We have the hope that toy scans will leak, because that still needs to happen. There is so much we know about ZENKAIGER, and I'm very excited to cover it all here on this channel. So if you are interested in a lot more of that, definitely go ahead and subscribe if you are interested. Also, hey, if you want, I have some brand new ZENKAIGER merch. I probably should have showed you an image of what that looks like, but trust me, it's really cool. If you want to check it out, it's in the links in the description down below. I've got the head of ZenKaiser, I've got some Sentai Gears, I've got the chest emblem. It's a good time. Good time. Also, while you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what you're most excited about, what speculation you have. Also, in the description, there are links to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, and watching videos. So that's fun. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Keep it. Hell yeah.